ready to get physical. It's time to talk some this and more. We gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, books, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see the laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is the media house stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does that.
It's got the Mighty Ducks guy. Got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez!
You can never have enough physical media.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Are you wearing a Beavis and Butthead shirt?
Oh, yes, I am, actually.
Sweet.
USA, baby.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. I thought you might like that. I was trying to show it off a little bit there. I just got it. Yeah. He said, baby.
So good evening, folks. How are you doing? The intro worked. Yay.
Yay. I don't know why it's weird on me. I think StreamYard doesn't like me sometimes. But hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. Looks like the youngins, I thought they were going to start joining us again. Backed out on us again.
Yeah.
So it's going to be us for tonight, but that's okay. We're going to have some conversation. Maybe we not such a long show this week, as we've gone 4 hours the one time and 3 hours last time. So maybe we'll go about 2 hours this time. But as always, yes, as always, I do have my good friend Tom Connors here. How you doing, Tom? I love the Phantasm shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's not bad. And you're wearing a good shirt yourself there, my friend. So,
I mean,
yeah,
nerds unite, right?
Yes, and our shirts are tight. Not tight,
well,
like tight.
Mine can be tight. Just I got nothing.
Mine's not even a pistol.
Mine's nothing much.
Don't undersell yourself, sir.
Happens. But I mean, glad to have you with me as always, and we'll go ahead and say hi to the chat. I'll leave my camera on for a little bit. How about that? You guys want to leave my camera on? I'm sure we'll turn it off eventually.
What happens when you leave your camera on?
What's that?
That's when the whores come in.
Shaking there. Tommy boy. I love that. It was one time.
One time during the war, I visited a whorehouse and I have not been able to live it down ever since.
Running around and
shaking their ass.
Shaking their ass. I love that.
Knees or whatever she says.
Yeah, they're high.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing out there?
Yes, good evening. Welcome, Miranda Brad. He says you'll have to catch us on the replay. He's been busy lately, so I hope you enjoy the replay. I'm thinking about I'm going to probably have to go through all these physical media shows and make them either unlisted or members only, to help out my algorithm a little bit. So, but I do like to leave them up for a little while.
Or start a live channel, maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. Then I got to go through
transfer them over there.
Yeah. Got to download each one and put them over there. So
actually, there's a way you can just kind of move them, but I don't know if you can without deleting a channel, so don't listen to me.
Yeah. I've been meaning to do that because I know it doesn't seem to hurt your channel as much as it once did. But it probably would be for the best if I moved, because some of them are like 4 hours long.
Yeah, we tend to take them down. So yeah. Anyway.
Yes. And then we have Tell 'em Freddy sent you, which I love the name. We need Ed Wood on 4K. Yes, we do. We do need Ed Wood on 4K. It's a great underrated Tim Burton film. Johnny Depp is really good in that movie. So
agreed.
Yes. And what's up, Ace Halen? Glad to have you with us as well. Hola. Hell to you, Brian Barth. Glad to see you out there. Hi, Heather Preston. I hope your birthday last week was a good one. I hope you had fun.
Oh, you had a birthday like I did? Cool.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Tom's birthday was June 1st. I hope
Sunday,
you had a good one too.
All right.
Happens. And then we also have Clark the Shark. Howdy, you, Clark. Glad to see you out there. Howdy, Dobo Fett. Good to see you in the chat. John the Beagle Dad. What's up, my friend? Cowabunga Dude, which I've been meaning to get that. What's up? So, what's up, Cowabunga Dude?
Cowabunga.
Yeah.
Fuck
Cowabunga.
you, Rogan. Get away from my turtles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Good evening, Tyrell72. Glad to see you as well. Yes, the original King of the Hill is great. I don't know if I'll be watching the new one, but we'll see.
There's some interesting things I wonder about it. I mean, Mike Judge did a great job bringing back Beavis and Butthead. Speaking of your shirt,
he
there,
did.
so
He did.
we'll see.
So yeah, but I'd have to find a different outlet than Hulu. But there's ways.
Fortunately for me, my son has Verizon and he lets me use his Disney Plus / Hulu whatever account. So
Yeah. Oh well, that works. Which
I don't pay the mouse for it, so
that's always good. I just saw a commercial, which I was thinking about doing a video on or putting together like a comparison where it's like Spectrum Cable has like now you can get all the streaming apps in one place on Spectrum. And I'm like, you mean like we used to get HBO, the movie channel, and it's like this legitimately is cable 2.0 now.
Been talking about this all week ever since Gilroy come out and said streaming is dead.
It's yeah, pretty much. And I mean, it's right back to cable pretty much.
The only thing that changed was the carrier, and really they were already semi there, right? Because if you add digital cable or satellite, it's all pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, not exactly. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be some people who are like, no, it's not. Basically, it runs through the internet, right? Like satellite, yes, you have the satellite in between, but it's still digital, so it's the same. It's just not on demand, really.
Yeah.
I mean, and they even did have on demand on some of that stuff already. So, I mean, especially if you had like the cable box, the digital ones and whatnot. So.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of switched over to the internet. Really, I mean, things will change. We don't need to get into it because the last thing this show is about is streaming. So
yeah, we're physical media here. But yes, hail to you, Dragonzilla. Glad to have you with us. Berserker99, hail to you and the physical media for life always. And what's up, Night Junkie? Glad to see you with us tonight. Void King, hello. Let's see. Tim Hayes. Hello, Tim Hayes. Glad to have you in the chat as always. Butts Unplugged. Hello from the UK. I like the name. Butts Unplugged. I like that.
Which means it was plugged at once.
Oh no. And then we have Captain the Ball 7. Not just the fact that streaming is just cable reincarnated, but it's a medium worth abandoning, like how I abandoned mobile phone games. I mean,
I don't have any of those on my phone. None.
Yeah.
Even the ones that come preloaded, unless I can't get rid of them, I just delete them.
I absolutely hate.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. And I hate that they put Netflix on your phone and you can't delete Netflix. I was like, I don't want Netflix on my phone. I want to delete that. So yeah, the mobile games, I'm not one of those.
And the most irritating thing is when you're trying to do something, especially online or on your one of your streamers, and it's like, go to the website. It's like, mother.
Exactly. It's
or
like,
go to the app if you're online. It's go to the app and it's like,
yeah.
I don't want to download another app. I've got 50,000 apps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of every, and then I don't even understand how to use most of them anyway.
Yeah.
So I got to go through all the help crap anyway. With that being said, was there any more people that need to say hello?
I think we caught all up to them, and Void King. Hopefully we do get a Beavis and Head.
It'd be nice because the Blu-ray doesn't look the greatest. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right, but
yeah,
it's an older scan clearly.
It did just recently re-release on Blu-ray or something again, didn't it?
It was it was a new Blu-ray, but from an older scan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember you brought it on.
Because Paramount likes to do that, and then between that and Paramount Plus and other things, they'll probably decide if they want to do a 4K, which is why I think we got the South Park movie in 4K. But I had my own issues with that one because that movie is a lot like Jason X, which we recently talked about. Which I don't understand why, unless they just don't have the files. They didn't just go back to the original files and re-render them in 4K, because for those who have all the seasons of South Park on Blu-ray, no, they went back to all the seasons before they did them in HD and re-rendered each and every one of the episodes in widescreen HD. So they clearly have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like going, why didn't you just do that for the movie? Because we know the movie's digital. It's shot. It's CGI. It's just animated on a computer to look like little paper guys.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just doing that, which I just said, they scanned the AVI, basically whatever film thing they would have spat out for a negative, like they did with Jason X.
Yeah.
And again, I still can't get anybody, and nobody will refute it necessarily. That's the funny thing. I have not one person yet who's actually come in and refuted the point I've made about Jason X.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at the same time, I still haven't, nobody's acknowledging it either. Like, that's the other side of it too. It's like, look, I get it. Arrow may have been misinformed by what they were, but they should have known halfway through the process that this is not the fucking negative.
It's not. You can tell by watching it right off the bat.
Well, it's just a bass-ackwards way of doing 2K interpositives, like they're digital, DCPs. It's just spat it out on film, and now that's their master. So clearly they either don't have the original files anymore, which it wouldn't matter. They'd still have to upconvert most of that stuff anyway.
Yep.
So, and then I said that it makes sense to me, but at that point, this is one of those times where I understand folks, and Tim will understand where I'm coming from, where folks are just like, you know what, I'm good enough with Blu-ray. And because I can say, look, if you have the Blu-ray, you're not going to notice that much of a difference because there is no difference. If anything, the DVD, the 4K Blu-ray might be a little bit more uncompressed and have a little bit more vibrant color. That's about it. But I've even seen some of the same problems or worse on 4K upconverts than I have just watching the standard Blu-ray. Like the Star Wars prequels are a great example of that. We just talked about that last week. So there you go. But anyhow, that being said, there's actually some movies you and I, because we get asked a lot, what are what are your favorite movies on 4K, or what movies should I get on 4K? And I always name a few classics like Jaws and some of the others, but there's
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which we may talk about Vinegar Syndrome a little later again. But as you know, and I know, there's a lot of newer films is what most people are talking about and they want to get into. Yeah. And the problem we're just talking about is kind of a problem of a lot of newer films, right? Especially over the last few years, because the studios are just starting to move over to the 4K post-production process. So this is the problem with 4K Blu-ray, and we talk about this all the time, is there's this big patch of roughly about 20 years where they shot everything and did everything on digital that's kind of stuck in 1080p or 2K unless they go and re-scan the film if they actually shot it on film, or it's just never going to be able to be upconverted to look as good as a true 4K. But we have a couple here tonight that I think we're going to talk about. That
we'll talk about it.
We got some other things to talk about first, though.
Yeah, we'll get to the new releases, and we'll talk about that because this is. I mean, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves because we're talking about the 4K. But we're going to get to that. And
I'm the king of the segue, as you haven't noticed.
Yes, you are. You're always. I mean, you're better than Rookie and Runner ever could imagine be. So.
It's part of my job, man. I'm always looking for that I can connect those 2 and 3, and you're always connecting it. So
yes.
But we did get a few announcements for releases. I don't know what you were most excited about. If you want to start.
I'll get to it, and I do want to say hi to everybody that come in, that Steven and the Trevor Maurer, which I missed, and Vinabite, and I think that was it.
Hey, Steven.
Yes, and then Nail White gave us a $2 super chat real quick. It says, hello, gents. Well, hello to you, Nail. Glad to have you with us.
Are you sure it's not Null White?
Null White. It's probably Null White. I'm bad with names. I'm really bad with names. So it's either Null White or Nail White, whatever.
You're from Ohio, right?
I'm from OHIO, man. That's how it goes. But on that note,
then I offer her a sip of beer, and and there we are in bed, just like that. It's that easy, because I'm smooth.
I wish I was him.
Right? I mean, he could still
even at that age,
right? I'm just hoping I have that silver fox when I'm older,
Yeah, he's just got to go who wants to, make daddy a sandwich, and 5 women will probably go, me.
Yeah. Gives him a Miller. Yeah. It's Null, like mall. Okay, no.
That's what I thought, because Null White. Yeah.
Yeah. What some of the upcoming releases? What was those upcoming releases?
We got the confirmation that we are getting a Wes Anderson 10 film 4K Criterion set, which I will wait for to go on sale because there's no effing way I'm going to spend the $400 they're probably going to want for it, which is, I think, the rumor going around. But that being said, that will be one that I will have on my list to get whenever it does go to a 50% off sale. Strangely enough, Shout Factory has announced Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, but not the first film in 4K.
Yeah, which they were supposed to be doing the first film, last I heard.
Which is funny. Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. You'd think they just wait and do a trilogy box set. But they don't have the rights to the Blu-ray, so keep that in mind, because Sandpiper Pictures or whatever, that new company, they have the Blu-ray. We're also getting a Shaw Brothers Classics volume, whatever it is anymore they're on. And the motherfucker's going to make me buy some shits besides Sleepaway Camp, obviously, which I just bought on the Blu-ray. Deathstalker, of course, is finally getting re-released.
1 and 2, which I'm excited for.
Right?
If you guys want some great boobs, Deathstalker 1 and 2. It's amazing.
And it's one of the notorious out-of-print ones that is hard to get. So, yeah. And then they're doing World Trade Center, which the only good part about that is Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
That's kind of a movie I just don't feel like it was too soon when it came out.
Yeah, way too soon.
But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. And then we get another Blaxploitation box set, which, again, the box art, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking the last time with that deal, but now they're just saying fuck it and doing the colors. But this one will have, looks like Bucktown, Jim Brown and Slaughter. They're really small. Sorry, guys. I can't read that one. Cotton Comes to Harlem, Foxy Brown, and is that Coffee?
I think it was coffee, if I remember.
No, it looks like Friday or something. I thought we already got Coffee.
Okay.
It's another Pam Grier movie. I can't see what it is. So we're getting those from Shout Factory, or Shit Factory, as I like to call them. Meet the Parents is rumored for 4K from Universal. No surprise there, especially with the announcement of a new film coming out from them. We got a new Karate Kid box set coming.
Oh yeah.
This motherfuckers, I'm mad about this.
I mean, me too, a little bit. So
it's like, if you're gonna do this, at least make it worthwhile and put Cobra Kai in this bitch. That's the thing that pisses me off more than anything. I can forgive rebuying Karate Kid 1 for the third fucking time in 4K and 2 and 3 again to get part 4.
Yeah, you get part 4 finally, which is now just in the box set.
And Cobra Kai. I could give a shit about the new movie, which I've seen, which is sad. I don't know if you heard my review of it.
So you're saying it wasn't very good?
Well, here's the problem. When this one I wouldn't be mad about it if it wasn't very good. I'm mad because there is a good movie in there, but it got destroyed in becoming this de facto remake / crossover event movie. It should have just been about the kid, because you don't know about it because it's not in the trailers, and this is why people are calling this movie a bait and switch, because all the Jackie Chan and Daniel stuff is the beginning and the end of the movie, basically.
Oh, of course.
Like the last 20, 30 minutes, and then like the first part Jackie Chan's in. He could have still been Jackie Chan's nephew, which he is, and or could have just been a descendant of Miyagi through the family somehow. And I'd been fine with that, and had 0 characters show up from any of the other films or anything like that. Because what there is in here is a movie where when he does get to New York, because it's about this kid who's uprooted from China and goes to New York, he's been raised his whole life learning karate, or kung fu, actually, I should say, not karate. Learning kung fu, and they actually do differentiate the two in this one.
Finally.
Yeah, so he meets up with this girl who happens to work at this pizza shop with her dad, who used to be a boxer, played by Dawson Duck, a.k.a. Joshua Jackson. And it's actually where the movie gets good, because it's kind of like this Rocky Balboa kind of esque story where because they have this scene where he nearly gets beat up by these mobster guys, and it's revealed that he owes money to the wrong people, right? But the little Karate Kid comes in and saves his ass the same way Miyagi did Daniel in the first film. So I'm like, oh, so you're setting this up, and now he's going to teach the old guy some moves, because like they even have the scene like from Rocky, like where he comes in and he's like, "You're old. he's like, thanks for noticing. And you're slow. And he's like, okay, anything else? Like, he's like, no, we got to teach you. We got to reteach you because now you're almost 20 years older than the last time you boxed, kind of thing. Right.
Yeah.
And then the movie becomes that through the midsection of the film. And if the movie would have continued down that road and become that movie and been about this kid teaching this guy how to be a more limber and incorporate some of the kung fu karate stuff into his boxing and, not get killed in the ring at the same time.
Yeah.
That would have been a much better movie. But then it turns into out of left field. The kid's going to get into a tournament. So then he's got to bring Jackie Chan and Daniel together. And yeah, it's just, it just goes a completely different direction. And and they even have a bully in there for no good reason and everything. You know what I mean? It's like, there's just too much thrown into it. It could have been a much better film. And I would have come out of it going, you know what? I kind of like that. And it had every right to rip off Rocky Balboa because the original Karate Kid was always a Rocky kind of clone in a way. It was always accused of being. But anyhow, so the set also comes with a bandana, which is the new bandana from the new film. It looks like some coasters or patches. I think they're patches. And it comes in the fold gate box like the other Columbia sets do. And I don't know if it pops up or not, but it's got Johnny and Daniel in the ring is for the middle part. No word yet on what any new extras or anything like that. But Karate Kid did get some deleted scenes added to its bonus features in its last re-release. So that's probably all that'll be different for that.
I really just want the next Karate Kid on 4K.
Me too. I know it sounds weird saying that.
It does. And that sounds like that movie. It sounds like it was like two different movies smushed together.
It was 2 or 3. Yes, you're not wrong.
Yeah. It sounds like maybe they started this movie and then all of a sudden they saw the success of Cobra Kai. It's like, what if we just bring these guys and put them back in the movie?
Do have a source that told me, I can't confirm it. I tried, but I can't confirm it yet. They told me that yes, basically the original script was just the kid and the grown and Joshua Jackson's character. And then shit happened and it slowly became this Jackie Chan thing. And then Daniel got involved and it became this whole thing. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how bad it flops because Netflix basically paid for it. So
yeah.
That being said, we already heard about Billy Madison, correct? We already knew about that.
Yes, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore's coming to 4K from.
Yeah, we already got those. So Kino also announced Nacho Libre for those who care. Curdled, exclusive. No, it's just called exclusive.
Yes,
it's an older film. And then this one is, what the hell is it called? Vultures. There we go. And The Mechanic was one that I know some people were very, very excited about in 4K. The Charles Bronson one.
Charles Bronson, yeah.
Scoop. Little Buddha from 93. I think I've seen that one, but I'm not sure.
Sounds familiar.
I know, yeah, it sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey, not to be confused with the more recent one, but a 4K release of the 68 original film, or not original film, but the film of the same name. And Hardware, starring Dylan McDermott.
Yes.
And Iggy Pop coming to 4K as well.
I know that one.
You know? And another film noir series, which they're up to like what? Their 12th now?
I know. I've been wanting to get into film noir, and it's just like, that's so many box sets I'd have to buy just to get into all of those.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, and that's why a good place to start is just some of Orson Welles stuff.
Orson Welles or
good base, and then
Double Indemnity is really good.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think of the one I brought on before from Kubrick, but he may come up again. Anyhow, that being said,
yes. It's good. I mean, there's some good stuff coming out here lately. We got coming our way. I know there's rumors of a Shin Godzilla 4K because they're going to be putting it in the theaters in 4K. So there might be one of those coming soon for people. So we'll see how that goes about. But with that being said, how do we want to do this? Let's go ahead and talk about what we were talking about earlier about what 4Ks would you recommend as far as for newer movies for people, because you know how you were talking about how most people want to know new 4Ks and stuff, and then because we talked about the older movies a lot, so which we'll get into because I do have an older movie tonight that looks beautiful in 4K. So yeah, but let's go ahead and show these off that you got.
These are ones that we've brought on already recently, and we have this rule that you kind of set up that we don't want to redo them unless it's like at least a year.
At least a year or more.
If not more, we try to. Yeah. But these are ones we've talked about recently. I know you brought this on not too long ago, and I brought it on a few months ago too, Twisters.
I don't have
the standard, and I got the steelbook, but still. And also you just, I think we talked about this at the same time, right? Nosferatu.
Yeah, we had it. Once again, you got steelbook, I didn't.
Oh, well. And this one, I think we're the same because I got the standard 4K.
Standard.
Now, but you didn't get a slipcover. See?
No, I didn't. Mine didn't come with a slipcover when I ordered it. It's like by the time I got it, they were all out of slipcovers.
Well, and this one I brought on for one specific reason other than it's just a kick-ass fucking movie if you haven't seen it yet. I got to give Amazon credit that they do put most of their movies on physical media still. Even Air, I think, is on standard Blu-ray. I'm pissed that it's not on 4K, but like, yeah. So, I mean, at least Amazon does that for the most part. But these two specifically, because these are reference quality, in my opinion, and that's why I brought them up. And you and I kind of discussed this before the show, and that is because these are brand new films that are shot in film, and you can tell they look fucking amazing. In 4K.
Yes.
And yes, these are ones you want to show off to your friends if they like. I haven't seen Twisters. I haven't seen Nosferatu. Show them these. That's why I brought those on. And this one is just, like I said, just to give kudos, even though it's shot on digital, it still looks good. I think it's a 4K all the way through, but still.
It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and of course, all these have great sound because I think they're all Dolby Atmos.
Yeah, they're all Dolby Atmos. But you are right. These two right here. I know we've talked about these before, and so we won't linger too long about them. But because we do get, Tom probably a little more than me, we do get asked 4K because like what looks good in 4K if you're going to go to the 4K format and stuff. And most people want some of the newer movies first. They just do, so as far as like newer movies, I would definitely recommend Twisters and Nosferatu as being shot on film. There's just something about the way the film looks, which we've talked about. They feel like movies. They don't feel like content, or like, even though like you mentioned Beekeeper shot digitally, it still feels like a movie, but like there's certain I've been calling it the streaming effect. Whereas, like, you can tell movies are not made for the theater because they're not shot on film anymore. It's like they're purposely made for streaming, almost like a straight-to-video type movie.
Well, it's because they use the same film, or same cameras, I mean, sorry.
Sadly. Yeah, yes, exactly. But when it's shot on film and it's done to be like a film, like an actual movie, I can't even sing the praises of Nosferatu. I love the movie. It's incredible. It looks great on film. And I was you guys all know me. I'm not much for new movies. And I got 3 brand new movies right here from the past 2020. I'm not much for new movies.
These are all from the last 6 months of the year or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And this one, I was absolutely surprised how much I actually like Twisters. I was blown
I almost have to say it's almost better than the first movie. I have some issues with it, but other than that, like they should have just made the one chick the daughter of
they definitely
and Bill Paxton. I don't know why they didn't, but yeah. Anyhow, that being said, that's like my main argument besides them cutting out the kiss. Sorry, what'd you say?
No, it's like some convoluted thing that they tried to like, she was never meant to be. It's like bullshit. She was meant to be their daughter and something happened.
Well, I half-ass believe it because it's set up. I caught it this time that I didn't catch it the first time I watched it. Was that she does get into the whole thing with the farm. She had a farm before, and she makes it sound like some company, like the one that the dude works for, that they're working for, took their farm or whatever away from them.
Yeah.
Or came in and, cheated them out of their farm, like the company that she's working for is doing now, kind of thing. So, like, I caught that, and I think maybe that's supposed to be what it was supposed to be, but at the same time, it would have made more sense, and especially with the fucking having Dorothy there. Like, why the hell would she have a piece of that, extremely old fucking equipment for no good fucking reason?
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like, even if she had gotten it from a college or something like why would they still have it later on?
Exactly.
It came out, 94 was the first original one, or 96, something like that? Yeah.
I think it
95,
was.
somewhere in that area. So, like, yeah, why would they still have it 30 years later?
Yeah. 96, yeah. My other caveat besides that is they should have kissed at the end of the movie, and the fact that
You could tell they do kind of, or didn't they film it that way and
they
then they
filmed
cut it
it
out?
that they did kiss, but the committee that even overruled Spielberg, the director, and it could like even the director did an interview recently where he's like, I wanted to kiss in the movie. I had to kiss in the movie.
I think it's
like
overreaction.
Yeah. The committee said that people don't want that. The kids don't find that they didn't want them to kiss. And it's like,
yeah. Well, they misinterpret that fucking
that
report.
study. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we were going to do a video on and we never did, but I wish we had now.
I would if you can get it out there. I've talked it a little bit about on my channel here and there, but
well, there's 2 years they did it, and there's 2 different versions, but they all basically come to the same conclusion. But the one does say in general, it makes it sound like it's in general. But if you actually read through the study, and if you did the video, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you actually read through the study, what they're talking about is that kids are confused. They can't differentiate between friends with benefits, boyfriends, girlfriends, whether they should just have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So that's where most of this is coming from. And they can't, and one of the biggest epidemics right now is, and I hate saying this, especially for anybody who's listening who has teenage kids right now, is there's this epidemic of a friends with benefit culture going on within the, like, because they don't know how to have regular friends anymore.
They don't. It's the truth. It is truly the truth.
And or the other side of it, they don't know how to have a regular relationship anymore either with somebody. So
yeah. Once they've started, I mean, they're always on like the TikToks and YouTubes and everything. And once they started removing that stuff from movies and TV shows and stuff, and started doing this and that, it's like, ooh, it's freedom and everything. Is just like it really screwed them kids up. It's honest to God, it really did. Yeah, I don't know. They just did. I mean, Spielberg isn't what he once was. And so, like, the director and Spielberg...
No, I know what it's from, Brian. It's from this study, because all of them in Hollywood are using it now. But I think that some people who happen to be in the LGBTQ community are manipulating it and saying, well, no, they just don't want sex in general.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, they don't want fucking flat-out sex scenes in their movies, but standard old romance is fine. Like, that's one of the biggest complaints about Twister, because people love that fucking movie.
Yep.
Like, the biggest complaint is that they don't kiss at the end. Like,
it's like, come on.
You go through almost every reviewer, you ask any normie, like, everything about that movie, and the one thing they say, like, even the person I watched it through this weekend, they're like, kiss him. They didn't kiss him. What the fuck?
Exactly.
I'm like, I knew it was coming.
Yep. I mean, they set it up and everything.
Look, I hate to say this, but that girl in that movie is hitting way above her league with Glenn Powell. So the fact that he shows up there, she is all over his ass. Okay, like, I'm sorry. That's just not, no.
And I find it funny too, because it's like legitimately in the beginning of the movie, they kill off the DEI. They kill off all the DEI characters in the beginning,
except for the one that they kind of make an asshole but redeems himself.
Yeah, like, and like they make it, which is unheard of, really, to make the guy the guy like that an asshole, and then.
But I kind of like him as an actor. I've seen him in other things, so I don't, he actually, I don't mind, because he's actually a decent actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor, and he wasn't like all about that. But like even at the end of the movie, like when he's in the truck and then that guy's in another truck and he's like, go get him. And you're like, oh yeah, they're going to kiss. And then it never happens.
No. And you can tell, like, I think I know where it got cut out, because she is like floating on cloud 9 all of a sudden where there's a cut. And it's not just because he showed up, God damn it.
No, it's not. So not at all.
It is kind of not an awkward cut, but you can tell there's a cut there now that you're like, oh yeah, they totally kissed. What the fuck? Yeah. Like, anyway, I'm not trying to make that big of a deal out of it. It's just a minor thing, because there's plenty of kissing and fucking in Nosferatu to make up for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, in Nosferatu, you can guarantee you're going to see a lot of that. But also, there's the leaked image, by the way.
Yeah, so. I was gonna say, yeah, it happens right there, and then like right after, in between there, they're talking, and then she's like all fluttery for right after a second. It's like, wait a minute, like
what happened?
Something happened there. She's
but yeah,
like
I mean,
much lighter on her feet for a bit there.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, a nerd girl like that and getting a guy like that, just like how we have our fantasies of getting the hot girl as well.
Yes.
Like that nerd girl, she's a nerd girl in that movie, and she's getting the hot guy at the end of the movie.
The hot cowboy, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like trust me, there was women out there going, "Mother," they didn't.
Well, Glenn Powell is one of those guys. Look, I hate to say this, but the thing is most of the time, people like to, if they're gonna self-insert themselves, it's usually women, and they do that in these fantasy roles with the guys, usually, right? You got to keep that in mind when it comes to these movies, because that's what one of the things was so popular about this original film, the original one, right? Titanic, and even Independence Day to a little bit with Will Smith and his what's her face girlfriend,
Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah, Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah.
So that was like, even Pearl Harbor, that was the bane of that movie's existence.
Yeah. Made it too much about that.
But that's what those things were there for. Even Armageddon, that's the only reason that shit was there for, is because they knew that's what would bring the women in, right? Like, guys don't give a fuck about that. We care more about Bruce Willis, right? Like, we don't care. We're buying into the whole, yeah, you need to send up some fucking drillers. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, yes, and of course we do like to see the guy get the girl at the end too, because I did want to see him kiss too, but like,
that's all we need.
That motherfucker's ass, you know.
We don't need them fucking throughout the entire movie.
No, we don't need that. No.
You just need the basic, like, John Wayne kiss at the end, right?
I mean, even if whether you like the movie or not, even the first Transformers got that right by the end of the movie.
Well, and that's a great example of the reversal, right? Because he's hitting way above his league with fucking
way above his league.
What's her face? Yeah,
Megan.
Even though I'm not a big fan of Megan Fox, I can at least even admit that he's definitely eating good there.
That's the reversal of like the nerd guy getting the hot girl. So
yeah, and then Nosferatu though I thought was just perfection. So there's not much I can say about that.
Yeah.
So.
I think we talked like almost 2 hours about Nosferatu the night we brought it on.
And Beekeeper is just classic fun. Like, if you like shit like anything like Death Wish or John Wick, you'll love Beekeeper. Like, if you haven't seen it, if you're a dude and you like action flicks, this is an 80s 90s action flick through and through.
Yep. I'm waiting for the other one, the Chuck Dixon Stallone with him in it. What's that called?
Working Man.
Working Man. I'm waiting for that. That's coming out.
Comes
soon.
out the 27th, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah, it comes out.
I mean, it's obviously out on streaming, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get that
and
one.
If you have Amazon Prime, it drops this Friday. But
yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm excited to see that one. But
good. I actually like Beekeeper better, but Working Man's more of a serious film. Like, not serious, but like, you know, like Beekeeper is more fun. Like, and it's the more rewatchable of the two because of that. Like, it just has fun with itself. It doesn't take itself seriously. It knows exactly what it is. It gets you into the story. It wastes no time. Right? It's a thin, real lean, mean machine that just kind of drives through the plot. And it looks like Chuck Dixon, speaking of, got his copy today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's showing that off. Look at there.
Look at him. Lucky man. I mean,
got dented in the fucking mail, though, it looks like. But
yeah. Amazon for you.
I don't know if it was Amazon necessarily. So.
I mean, it's an Amazon movie. I figured maybe he got it from Amazon.
I don't know. I think he probably just got it because it's probably early because he got it.
Yeah, because he's the writer of it and everything.
Yeah. I'm thinking, if I had to take a guess, that would be why.
But I do agree with you. I definitely recommend Twisters and Nosferatu on 4K. And if you're like us, you Beekeeper on 4K too. For anybody you guys want to show off to your 4Ks. Now remember, you do got to have like a 4K player and a 4K TV and all that to get the full effect of the 4K. Because I have heard from some people, it's like, I got the 4K player, but I don't got the 4K TV. So,
which is fine. You can still watch them at least, but.
Yes, you can watch them, but to get the full experience, you should have.
They're not going to look any better, though. I mean, really. I mean, so the only time I've ever noticed any difference is when I had my plasma. There was a slight uptick, and I'm talking so minimal, in just kind of like the richness of the color. But that's just because of how plasma. I mean, plasma looks so good that it was almost like having 4K at times. So. But I miss my plasma having it all the time, but it was a heavy ass bitch, and you couldn't leave it on, and yeah.
Yeah, because the plasmas had to burn in, didn't they?
Yeah, it would burn in your TV if you had something on too long.
Yep. All right.
Although
well,
they were getting better about it. Like my TV that I have still that's upstairs, like it supposedly has like this anti-burn stuff in it as part of the programming or what. I don't know how it would work, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's supposed to be avoidable, but yeah. Well, I guess it comes out Tuesday. Working Man does.
Oh, that's Tuesday. It's nice.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to get it. I'm gonna have to buy it. Check it out. All right. Well,
check them out.
Since we did that together. Who wants to go? Should I go or you go?
I think I have one more than you, but we have one that's together. So it's no wait.
I have 3 picks left.
Yeah, and I have 4 counting them, all of them. So yeah.
Okay. So let's see. I mean, I could go because it kind of keep it on the same thing of like movies you would show off on 4K, but an older movie.
Okay,
I mean, I could
too.
I could do that. Let's see. If I go, you go. I go, you go. I go, then you go. Right? Is that how it would go? That's like 4 picks.
Well, we'll go together at some point.
Oh yeah, that's right. You just go ahead and go, then I'll go do mine.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll keep it in the same vein as the movies that people should get on 4K. Because this is one I hadn't watched since I first got it, and I watched it on my new TV, and it looks amazing. And I was either uninformed or I misread something at some point. But yeah, if this is one you haven't got your hands on yet on 4K, do yourself a favor. Speaking of Kubrick earlier, like I said, I mean, this is an amazing 4K. It does come from the negative. What I must have misunderstood was that all the releases prior to this were not from the negative ever. So, and this is the first time they've touched the negative in a long time. So it looks amazing. Comes with some lobby cards and a book, and just the standard disc inside. There was a version of this they just released, I think, in a steelbook, but and I got it with the hardcover. I don't know if you can get this anymore.
Nice.
This is one of the few earlier titles that Warner Brothers put Dolby Vision on. And I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, it's an experience, and especially it's one of those movies to show off what your system can do.
Yeah,
although it's only 5.1, but still, yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's a beautiful movie. It's an all-time classic. Speaking of which, that was in the 525/77 movie where he talks about that a lot because he was a big fan of that movie. True.
Yeah. So no, you're right. It sold Steven here on the Blu-ray when it first started, and I couldn't only imagine. I don't have the 4K of it, which I need to probably get the 4K of that. So I could only imagine what it looks like on 4K.
Well, it looks good. Yeah, because I think they scanned it in 6K.
Nice.
And yeah, nice. It's when back. I think it's when either the archive handled it or the same people that were there before that. It's one of their older 4K Blu-rays. It's like I think it came out in 2018. Yeah, it says 2018 right on the bottom here. So yeah, this is back when they were still one of the better companies out there as far as releasing or doing remasters. But the story itself, if you're not aware of it, I mean, where have you been?
Yeah.
You should, especially in the day and age of AI. Because I mean, we talk a lot about Terminator and shit like that when it comes to AI, but shit, we got to also remember 2001 and that little bastard.
How, David?
Yeah. Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
That.
Yes.
I wouldn't worry about it, Dave. Yeah, no, he's a little fucker.
Yeah,
because it does kind of put in that question of would an AI admit to making a mistake? And it's funny because what we got from, I don't know if many people realize this, but it's because of this movie, a satire of this film, a parody of it called Dark Star, which I brought on before, from John Carpenter and Dan O'Bannon, which was the direct descendant, or the direct descendant of, was Alien. So this movie inspired Alien in more ways than one. Like Alien wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this movie, because they made Dark Star, which was, but I mean, of course, you see a lot of the influence in special effects as well. I mean, that's the thing that this movie did more than anything. Like, before Star Wars, there was the most believable photorealistic special effects on film. And this was one of the most expensive movies ever made at the time. And, Kubrick was, known as a god after this. I mean, this movie played forever in theaters, which is why I thought the negative was lost, because I thought they struck it so many times, but I guess they had an inner positive that they kept striking, which was actually, and the reason I found that out was because the version that they'd been doing and using all this time was actually a fake anamorphic version of it, because it was shot on 35 or on 70 millimeter, then it was shrunk down to 35 anamorphic for any home releases and all the theatrical releases. So, and the only other time they used this full 70 millimeter print was for the Cinerama version, which all they did was skew the sides. So it wasn't shot with 3 cameras like the other movie that I brought on before. So at this point, they were already saying, look, we'll just shoot it in 70 millimeter and then we'll skew the edges to make it look like Cinerama, basically.
It's true.
And it does not have the same effect. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah.
You're never going to get that again, but there's only like 2 or 3 movies that are shot in that. So
yeah. Brian Barth wants to know, do you wish Kubrick made more films like Napoleon and Aryan Papers, and wasn't it critically reviled when it was released because critics couldn't understand it?
I can see that. It's very slow moving. It's a like, this is the kind of movie that George Lucas probably wanted to make. It's a very tone poem type movie. And a lot of the dialogue is the stuff that's in between the major dialogue in a lot of ways, because like the movie is set up in a way where you're not really sure what the hell is going on until the movie's almost over by that point, when you finally figure out what the fuck's going on. And that's what I also love about 2010, because the whole movie 2010 is going back and trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong, and they get more answers and stuff like that. And this movie though is just it's a visual feast. It's an audible feast in the sense of, or oral feast, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
As far as with the music and the sound and all that kind of business. And it's weird because it's actually like a couple of short stories crammed together. And then the writer also was writing it at the same time Kubrick was making his movie. So it was like one was informing the other in both ways.
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, because the story itself is very kind of like short story-esque. There's like a big main broad overarching story, which is the monolith story, which ties into the mission, which then ties into, Hal breaking down and fucking shit up and not admitting, and all the stuff that he's supposed to be keeping to himself until they get there, and the guys on the voyage going, wait a minute, and then he kills, so many people and so on, and not to get through so much, but like, yeah, I mean, in the way the movie presents it, like the way I'm telling it to you, you'd watch that movie and you're going, well, when is any of this stuff going to happen? It's like a lot of it doesn't happen until near the end. And the whole point is once the things start happening and you as the audience member start realizing what the fuck is going on, because you're along with the other 2 guys through most of the movie trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with Hal.
Right.
And when shit starts to hit the fan, it all just kind of happens, and then you're sent spiraling into this very strange ending, which is very reminiscent of, Interstellar clearly ripped off.
Yeah.
And which is one of the reasons why I hate the end of Interstellar.
Oh, I hate it. I did not like Interstellar at all.
But yeah,
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and try and explain it all. This is for you to see in your own interpretation of it, because that's the beauty of this film, is you can interpret so many things into it. And it is kind of like this big, weird tone poem music video a lot of the time. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I have to get that is it still available? And I mean, not the what set you have, but it's still available.
Sure.
4K,
like I
right?
said, they even did like a couple of new special, like a steel book, I think, and one of those big fat book collectors things like they did with Blade Runner and stuff like that. I think they did one of those for this as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to have to get that. I have to get that. All right. Well, sort of keeping it on track with aliens and stuff like that. And Carpenter himself
There you
I
go.
just got this. Speaking of a movie that looks amazing on 4K, an older movie that you could recommend. So I do have Starman, the Ship Factory version, right here. So try to hold it up better. And then of course I
He's
did
a
get
Starman.
which this is an absolutely beautiful steelbook, by the way. I got Starman on 4K here.
I hope it goes on sale at some point because I already got it, so I don't need it again.
Yeah, I know, because you got it is a very beautiful steelbook. If I can get open there. So yeah. And then we got 4K here and then Blu-ray. Now it looks amazing in 4K, and I don't know what scan they used on this one, but I even put in the Blu-ray to check it up against this one. This looks like shit compared to this Blu-ray.
Yeah, that Shout Factory's from an older scan.
Yeah, it's a much older scan, and it is just, it does not. Luckily, I mean, if you can get it, because I know people like I do physical media. I covered here a lot. A lot of people don't want to go up to 4K. That's why we talked about earlier. And some people, do not like steelbook onlys. I get it, but you can get the 4K in the Columbia box set if you ever get that, which is still available. But this looks absolutely incredible on 4K, and all the special features that are on this are on this. They're all over, and this has more special features than this has to begin with. Because like when Shout Factory did this, all they did was like a little making of with the new interviews with them and gave you the trailer, TV spots. This has 21 deleted scenes, the audio commentary with John Carpenter and Jeff Bridges, behind the scenes time lapse, the same little documentary thing they made on Shout Factory, another making of featurette. All I have to do is dream music video, still gallery, theatrical trailers, and all that. So it is much better. If you want to get it, I do recommend it, but I understand the price. The price may get some people. I didn't have to pay the full $40 that they're asking for. I actually got it for $35 because I got a deal. But yeah, Starman, if you've never seen it, an incredible movie. Every time I watch it, I say, man, I think it's a better movie than E.T. I do, because this is John Carpenter, Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg's not involved, but this is John Carpenter doing his Amblin version of a movie. He didn't write it, but he's shown him that he could do something like this. It's about this alien who crashes.
I think it is his highest grossing film to this day.
Yeah, and I think
so.
Jeff Bridges even got nominated.
If it's
for
not
an
his
Oscar
highest
for
grossing
this.
film, I think it was his only film that's ever opened at #1, if I'm not mistaken. That's if not that at least, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can stick with your Columbia. That's what I said. If you don't, you can stick with the Columbia box set.
Yeah, well, on the bonus part of and this is one thing to think about price wise, because this is like usually $35. I think you said you paid for it.
Yeah, I paid $35.
I don't know what the Columbia box set's going for right now, but usually it goes on sale at some points, and you can get it for like $89, and you're getting 6 movies. Plus, there is something you're not getting in this version, and that is the TV show.
Yes, in the Columbia set. Yep. Yep.
Which is sad. I wish they would have put that in there. That is kind of a bummer.
It is a bummer. I wish they would.
But that doesn't mean they won't try to release it on its own at some point too. So
I hope they do, because I would like to get that. Like I said, the Columbia box set, there's not everything in there I want, but I have thought about getting it. But no, this is great. I do love this. When you showed this to me, because Tom said when we heard about it like months ago, he sent me the picture of this, and I was like, that's a beautiful steelbook. I'm buying that. So, which I don't buy a whole lot of steelbooks. So as Tom held up his Nosferatu and Twister steelbooks, I had the other ones. But this is beautiful. Looks incredible on Blu-ray or 4K. I'm sorry, and the Blu-ray looks better than this Blu-ray. So I could get rid of this now. So I might send this maybe I'll send it to Michelle or somebody. Yeah, it's so much better on the 4K. So yeah, if you've never seen it, like Jeff Bridges, it's an alien that crash lands on Earth. He finds Karen Allen's character, whose husband.
E.T., but he's sexy.
Yeah, he's E.T., but he's sexy. He finds Karen Allen, whose husband was Jeff Bridges, played by Jeff Bridges, who had passed on, and he clones himself to look like him by finding hair, because she has a lock of his hair in her photo album. So like the alien clones himself to look like him, and it's like a road trip. Like she thinks she's being kidnapped by him, but he's not. He just needs her to take her to the place he needs to be so he can go back home because like the army and government's after them. It's very much Amblin, Steven Spielberg style, but it's John Carpenter. It's a great movie. It's great performances. Karen Allen is fantastic in this as a widower who, because like when the movie starts, she's like really great in this, with like showing the emotions of like losing her husband and what she's feeling, and then this alien that looks like her husband and trying to get away from him, but then falling in love with him, and it's a great movie. Every time I watch it, the more and more I like it. So highly recommend Starman. Check it out if you have not seen it. Check it out. But yeah, I get some people. I'm not going to knock anybody's complaints. I know some people don't like the steelbook onlys and everything, but if you can get it and if it goes on sale, I would buy it because it is beautiful. It is a beautiful 4K and it has all the special features on it. It's way better than the Shout Factory one. And like I said, you get all the Shout Factory special features on that. So, but anyways, yeah, that was it. And I would recommend that. Like if somebody wanted to say, hey, show me a movie on 4K that would make me want to buy 4K, I would show him Starman. Because Starman is incredible. So with the then like the special effects will hold up on that today. It's like incredible special effects, man. Just like the scene when like he runs into the tanker thing and it explodes. He comes out walking, carrying her and everything. That looks incredible. The spaceship coming in, the helicopters, and you do miss the days of like them using actual military helicopters with actual extras and filming outside and not on sets and not. I mean, I know there's some blue screen, but especially like when he's floating outside of her house and his hair's because he was actually upside down, and then they made how they did that stuff. But yeah, it looks incredible. It looks incredible. So check it out if you guys have never seen it. It's really good. Occasionally you meet a nice one, Starman, ET, but usually they turn out to be some kind of big lizard, which is, it's funny. I've been meaning to pick this up because I saw that, I think Orbit had it, but it had all the Meatballs movies on DVD, but it's a DVD.
I know I got tricked too because I thought it was a Blu-ray, and I'm like, oh fuck that, it's DVD. Never mind.
Yeah, it's DVD. I thought about buying it because some of the like 2 and 3, I don't believe was ever released.
No, they've never been on Blu-ray.
Yeah, they've never been on Blu-ray, and they've never
Only
had
the first one. I don't even know about 4.
Yeah, I think 4 got
nobody cares about 4.
Yeah, but I thought about getting it. I mean, I know I had the first one on Blu-ray and everything, but I thought about
even
getting
Corey
it.
Feldman wants you to forget that he was in 4.
I was looking to get that, but like the ET thing is like they do that in part 2 with the ET. It's basically they ripped off ET completely in part 2.
When I understood that reference.
Yes,
I
you
know
did.
what movie it comes from.
Yeah. But yeah, check it out, Starman. It does look incredible. You have 2 options. Maybe they'll release it because I know occasionally was it Sony, right? I know it's TriStar, Columbia Pictures. That's right. Now, why would I think of TriStar? Columbia Pictures. Sometimes they do give them a standard release down the line, but I don't know if they will or they won't.
Yeah, I don't know on this one because they have on some of their Columbia ones. They're finally getting to some even ones that were in like the first set for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say. I think they've been pretty picky and choosy. So we'll see.
Yeah, but it was good. I was very happy with it and like even when I like was checking the Blu-ray because I was pulling a Tom. Because how Tom always talks about it, he compares. It's like I'm gonna check the Blu-rays on this, and it's like I was like, man, that Shout Factory one looks like shit compared to this. It really does. I mean, it's not very good, but yeah, there you have it. So we'll go back to you, Tom, if you're ready. If Sadie is calmed down.
Oh, we actually got some news, or at least we knew about this, but now we see it.
Oh, the encore. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The edited version.
Yep.
Yeah, probably not buying that.
Nope. Not unless it has both versions on there. Why the fuck would I?
Exactly. I am not.
I could care less if it has, the encore cut on there otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. At least give the people the option of both cuts if you're going to do it. Yeah, I can't. I just can't. Yeah. And then I'll say they take that censor shit, shove it up your arse. Exactly. It's yeah. That's you want to send them a message. Honestly, that's how you send them a message. I know we talk about physical media supporting it, but it also goes around supporting stuff like this as well. If they do not put the actual other cut of the film on there, and it's just the edited versions of both films, which supposedly they're supposed to edit the second one too when it comes on 4K. Don't buy it. So that sends them a message. Whether they accept the message we're trying to send them is another thing, because sometimes they don't register in their head. But yeah, I'm not going to buy that if there's no other version of the film. I'll be fine with my Blu-rays, which I still need to get the third one on Blu-ray because I haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah. If Mig Dundee ain't grabbing the guy dressed as Sheila, then I ain't grabbing that copy of the movie.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. That's what they want. That it's Australia. From what I've read, the Australia down there, like the government themselves, like a branch of their government that formed this thing to edit and censor movies, and they even got Paul Hogan himself to agree to it because he was like, "Oh well, if it offends people, I don't want that." So, so yeah. Sadly, that's what's happened.
Yeah, and here's here's the second one as well. Doesn't say anything about that one being a different cut. It says restored and digitally remastered.
That's what I said.
But this is on Orbit. They don't have much info on it.
Yeah, because I heard that they was going to also censor the second one as well, but I would never.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they never like covered it like they did the first movie.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, I guess.
Coming soon to Australia, Mad Max Encore cut where his wife and baby don't give.
Yeah, right. And cuts out all the assault and everything. It's just,
cuts out everything.
It's slightly upset Max now.
It's about a 10-minute long movie. So
aggravated Max. He's not mad. He's just a little slightly aggravated.
It's just a little road rage Max.
not even road rage. No, that's too problematic.
Yeah,
that's too much.
You can't do that.
No, can't have that. We need to slow down here with this. In fact, can we slow the movie down so he's not driving so fast too? I mean, just
make sure he stops at stop signs now.
Yeah, kids might get the wrong idea. Oh Lord!
Does he really have to wreck his car at the end, or wreck their car at the end of the movie?
Yeah, it doesn't. Just he just could yell at them a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what's he so mad for, anyways?
Exactly.
Doesn't he know he's a white man?
Well, white male rage, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that being said,
let's go to you, Tom. What do you got?
Boy, where do I go from there? Well, here's a newer 4K movie I can't recommend.
Oh.
I thought I'd give it another shot.
Oh, boy.
And I stand by what I said. It's
Beetlejuice. I still have never seen it because you said it was. You said it was so good, so I was like,
don't let that stop you, because a lot of people have enjoyed it. To me, it's too chock full of garbage.
I know we can be similar in our taste, but I also know we can be different. But I have a feeling you're probably spot on with this, that I probably wouldn't like it. So that's why I never.
Well, the problem is you have a really interesting villain introduced, and then you don't see her again until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle, you get this really boring story that's basically the same thing that was in Ghostbusters Afterlife, only she actually does want to fuck him. And it's just basically what Beetlejuice was going to do, just a little bit worse. And I'm like, you could have just made Beetlejuice that have that motivation. So he's like, oh, well, I can't get, Lydia. I'm going to go after the daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would have made more sense, tied up things a little neater, but no, instead it's what it is. Because otherwise, the rest of the movie isn't so bad. The only other thing I don't like is what they did to Jeffrey Jones's character, but
yeah,
that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just it feels like there's a little bit of a mean streak through the movie I didn't like, and I still feel it, although it doesn't feel as bad as the first time. But yeah, I didn't soften on it too much at all. No, can't say I did.
I can't. I haven't seen it. But I've not really wanted to either at the moment. So I may get to it eventually, but I haven't. I know that like Winona Ryder said herself that she would have rather had her and Beetlejuice end up together. She was always wanted that. So,
well, yeah, I mean that's the problem with this movie is it gets very convoluted and too many characters and too many storylines and too many ends to tie up, and some of the best bits are just kind of passed over, and then they waste a buttload of time on a music sequence that is unnecessary as fuck. And it's a piss poor movie. It doesn't even look the same because I believe it's shot all on digital. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that kind of like streaming feeling about it, like you were talking about earlier.
The streaming effect.
Yeah, it does feel a little cheaper. You can really see how old Michael Keaton is in 4K. And it doesn't help. No, he's still got it though. Otherwise, as far as the humor goes and being the character, like that part, he's fine. I didn't mind Jenna Ortega until her story takes that left turn. Because otherwise, the rest of the cast is great. Lydia, I have a few issues with here and there, but otherwise, it's fine. But I don't know. I can't recommend it, but if you can see it for free, go for it.
Something to do on a day when you're bored and just to let it play.
Yeah, I guess it's doing very well on HBO Max, so whatever.
It's once again the streaming effect, because I'm pretty sure that's what it was meant for to begin with.
Initially, yes, it was.
Yeah. I think I heard that from you guys, anyways.
Funny thing is Tim Burton took $100 million less just to make it for theatrical instead of streaming, which makes no sense to me. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but yeah, no. Go figure on that one.
Go figure.
Yeah, I wish I could say much more than that. It's got like this, I think it's glow in the dark cover. Let's see. Does it glow? I can't turn off my big light, but
I know.
Not really. Not in that little light. So yeah, it doesn't matter. But and then Lydia's on the other side of it. It's one of those slip covers, and you take it off.
Oh, one of the places.
Wider, and then one of wider of her. I mean, I like the design and everything, and then you get a bunch of Bobs on the inside, and Bob and all the other guys. But it's just, the characters are off in some bits too. It just doesn't feel. It was really disappointing. Like if you see my review when it first came out, you can clearly hear the disappointment in my voice. Like, it was just really disappointing.
It's once again, it's another movie that didn't need a sequel that they need to make sequels of to make money. Because stuff like that, like I've noticed that, and I think there's a correlation, which I'm sure there is, and I'm sure you know more, but it's like most of the people that watch streaming tend to watch the older things, which is why you're getting a new Little House on the Prairie series, because the Little House on the Prairie is being watched more than most new series on streaming. So they thought they take that as, well, people just like the name of that, so we'll make our own, or like, you know, new Little House on the Prairie series so they can stream that. And then like, oh, people are really watching Beetlejuice, let's just make a Beetlejuice 2. Let's make a sequel because people will watch that. So that's how I feel about it. I don't know, but I haven't seen it. I may eventually one day, but who knows? I to be honest, I really haven't had interest in seeing it. It didn't catch me. So, yeah.
No, you're 100% right. The reason we got Beetlejuice is because it was a big seller on video and streaming on HBO Max, and same thing with Gremlins and Goonies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and if you haven't noticed, like every year around Halloween, those are 3 movies they always re-release.
Yep. Every Halloween. Yep.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
all right. Well,
It was inevitable, I guess.
I think they're all going to be inevitable. I mean,
I should have been straight to streaming, though, because then I can ignore it more, like Beverly Hills Cop 4 and Coming
Yeah.
to America.
Yeah.
It's like, because those are movies, but they're not real movies.
Yeah. They don't even feel right.
They went
really
straight to
don't.
streaming. They're like a step up or step right around to the left of straight to video. So, like, and I hate saying it like that because I love B movies, but
Yeah.
it is depressing as fuck seeing something like Beverly Hills Cop 4, Beetlejuice, and going, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to say myself is like, yeah, they feel like people are like, oh, so they feel like straight to video. And it's like, no, not necessarily, because there is a charm to straight to video type movies, you know, like the Full Moons or something like that. In that,
Yeah,
vein.
no, because they're getting like big budget of budgets for these, right? So like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big difference too.
And then to these are like sequels to like Beverly Hills Cop or Beetlejuice or something like, and to feel like a straight to video.
We're not talking Tremors 3.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when you're saying it feels like a straight to streaming, straight to video type movie, these movies shouldn't feel like that. They should feel like theatrical movies, like Twisters, because nobody was screaming out for a fucking Twister sequel.
No.
I mean, it was a one and done, and everybody liked it. Fine, it was a good movie. Whatever, we moved on, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to make Twisters with an S," and people like, "I don't want this movie."
And there's no real connection
great.
with the original. I'm surprised that they
Yeah.
didn't.
No real connection at all and everything, and it turned out to be an actual good movie. And it even respected him, even though there's not much of a connection. It respected the first movie, and it felt like a film. It shot on film. It didn't feel like a straight to video sequel.
Well, it almost took things a little bit more seriously than the original in some ways.
Yeah, so much. And then you get Beverly Hills Cop 4 and Beetlejuice, and you're like, stop it, stop.
Look, and I'm not trying to dump on anybody who likes those movies because plenty of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of people do, but I just, to me, it's not worth the wait.
It's not. I agree with you. It's not, because I watched.
And Beetlejuice just ruins Beetlejuice for having just being one of those movies that didn't have 3 sequels.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time, much like Tremors, like movies like that they would get to straight to video sequels without the cast and whatever, and they would like continue the story, and it wouldn't affect much the original movie itself. But now you're getting those like movies with the original actors and stuff, and it's affecting those.
Exactly. You can ignore the ones you don't like. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Tremors is an excellent movie, and then Tremors 2 straight to video is good. Tremors 3, yeah, Tremors 4, okay.
Now I understand why these are straight to video.
Yeah, I mean, you can ignore them, and it doesn't affect the first movie. And then now you're getting, like we said, these new ones, and it's starting, like even with like the Star Wars and stuff, like it's starting to affect the way people see the original.
And they have the money. It's just they're writing it like it's garbage too. On top of it all, that's the other thing. Because like you said, it is so true. Like this and that Karate Kid film suffer from similar things, and that is too many ideas, too many characters shoved into a movie. And this one's even longer than the original. And what's sad is it probably should have been 2 movies. And at that point, then you're like, well, why didn't they just make it into a streaming series like Cobra Kai? Which then also doesn't really trample too much on the original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would have been better had it just been like Lydia's series where, you know, she's just like this medium and it's not always Beetlejuice. You know, there's other ghosts. Like that was one of the funner parts too. And they just kind of, that's another thing that pisses me off about this movie. Right away in the intro, you have this big long intro like the original, and then you lead up to this thing and you realize, yes, it is a model or supposed to be a model or whatever again, but it's actually into a studio where she's doing a TV show where she's like a medium, right? And then when she's done with her segment, she goes into the bathroom because she's freaking out because she thought she saw Beetlejuice, and she's talking to a dead chick. And that's the only time she does. And it's like, okay, why did you stop? Like, that was kind of an interesting thing. Like, she's dealing with the sixth sense thing all the fucking time. Now that she can actually see ghosts, you know, like, and it's like, so you just kind of like, it just goes away. It's like, no, at no point does she see her father. or anything like that. You know what I mean?
It's just,
none of it makes sense. Like, I don't know. And I get it. Certain things are like, they're supposed to be tied to them, but then they give this really lame excuse for why the Maitlands aren't there.
yeah.
They just figured out a way to cross over. That's basically what they say. If you found a loophole, that's what it was. It's like, you could have come up with a million other things. Like they're on vacation in Saturn.
Yeah. Because
Like,
they did seem
a
like it was going to
million
cross
things.
over.
Yeah, like, who fucking cares? Just like with killing Jeffrey Jones. If you're going to do that, why didn't you just kill his character years ago? Or why do you have to do it so grotesquely? And if that's the case, why didn't he just cross over?
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so many different questions you go out of this movie with. Like, it doesn't even follow its own rules half the time. And then Bob is another character that I love, but at the same time, he's kind of going against the character that he was in the original film. Because in this, he's all meek and fucking weak and like a little fucking spaz. And in the end of the original film, you know, I mean, he's just sitting there like nothing, you know,
Yeah.
doesn't really show us anything. I mean, but it's just like, okay, yeah, he's just a guy who got his head shrunk. He's like a tribal dude. He wouldn't be like that. He'd probably be like, all like trying to kill you and shit, but whatever. I'm not going to even get into all that. Like I said, you walk out of the movie with more questions than you do real answers, and what answers you do get, you're just like, yeah, I didn't need to know. 30 years later.
It's one that you really didn't need a sequel to. It really is one you didn't need a sequel to.
No, and what's her face is the other best part of the movie.
Jenna Ortega.
No, the mother.
Oh, yeah, Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara. Like, yeah, she steals every fucking scene she's in.
Yeah.
So she does the same thing here, right? So
yeah, she's always great. So
yeah, she gets all the belly laughs in the movie, to be honest with you. Like, of all the scenes that I laugh the hardest at, they're all hers. So, and it's just her being that character. And she just kind of, like, her and Michael Keaton just jump right back into the roles. Like nothing has changed in 30 years, right? Like they're the only problem with Michael is that he looks old. It's like, you could have done something just to try and make it look I don't know. You already got him caked in makeup. You couldn't do like a fat face makeup thing, because his face is a lot thinner than when he did the first original Beetlejuice. I mean, they give him the belly, so why not just give him just a little bit on the face, and that'll clear up some of the wrinkles.
Yeah.
And it'd probably be easier doing that than putting on that moss every fucking day, because then it'd be part of the prosthetic.
Yeah, and then you have it just there, so there would be much
Exactly,
yeah.
Yeah. See, if that's what I would think of if I'm on set, I'm like, why don't you just make some fake cheeks so we can cover up all that stuff on the side? I'm not gonna say wrinkles, but you're wrinkly, motherfucker, because you're like 80. No, I know he's in his 60s or whatever, but still.
Yeah.
Or 70s, I think. Young 70s or late 60s, something like that.
I think it was 70s, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's like, because he's close to my dad's age. I know that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, Brian Barth, I don't think they should have made a Beetlejuice sequel at all. I mean,
no, Beetlejuice goes to Hawaii. I read a lot of that script. It is fucking horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
I just think they should have left it as the movie and then the cartoon series.
You really want a weirdness, though? Go find the original script of Beetlejuice.
I think we read through
it's out there. We talked about, I think I may have talked to you about it before when we were talking about Beetlejuice, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun one. We covered some of that in our video that nobody watched. But yeah.
All right.
All right, what you got?
Okay.
Or are we going to do our one together?
I think we'll say that for the last. We'll just do that last. So I'll get this one out of the way. I had a hankering to watch this, and I thought I owned it, and I didn't. So I bought it, which I did do a video where I opened it and everything. But I watched Jumper with Hayden Christensen. I was going to have it on the Star Wars show last week since we were talking Star Wars. But I wanted to watch this afterwards, and I've always enjoyed this movie. I do think there could have been a better movie here. And it has a great special feature on it that explains why it's not really much of why it could have been a better movie. But I don't know if you've seen it or how long. I know you said you had the 3D Blu-ray of it. But yeah, it just stars Hayden Christensen. There you go.
which I don't even know if it got released in 3D in theaters. I think this was actually part of a Fox deal where they did a bunch of 3D, like what do you call it? Because it was this and the Will Smith robot one.
Oh, the iRobot.
And I can't remember the other one, but there was like 3 or 4 of them that Fox did at that time.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a hankering to watch this after we was talking Star Wars and Hayden Christensen and everything. It's actually a pretty good movie. You know, I can honestly say, I mean, I like Hayden Christensen, but he's not the greatest actor. He's really not. But I think this was a little more his speed than Anakin, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the story of this movie is essentially it's about this kid who you know, he's kind of picked on a little bit, and he learns he can teleport, and they call it jump in the movie. And his dad is played by Michael. This has got a great cast, by the way, because it's got Hayden Christensen, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Rooker plays his dad. His mom is played by Diane Lane, and Rachel Bilson is in it as the girl he's in love with, which, you know, she was. I always thought she was kind of cute. So yeah, so it's got a great cast in it. So like he can jump, sort of teleport, and you know, his mom left him when he was 5. He's been living with his dad, Michael Rooker, who's a little bit abusive. He gets bullied a little bit, and you know, he's the girl he's in love with. He can't work up the courage to talk to her, and then he finds out he teleports. So he teleports away, starts robbing banks, and then all of a sudden he comes to find out that there's this group led by Samuel L. Jackson. They're called Paladins, who track jumpers and kill jumpers because they don't think people should have that power. Only God should have that power. And that's, you know, and that's where the story, because they finally catch up with him after 8 years, and he meets another guy played by Jamie Bell, who's also a jumper. And they go in, and he reconnects with the girl he loved, Rachel Bilson. And it's like this story. There's much more deeper story in this, and I really think that since this came out in like 2008, and because it's only an 88-minute long movie, it's very quick, it's very fast paced, gets you really into it. I think because there's a lot cut out of this movie. There's a lot cut out of this movie, and a lot of threads that are left hanging because they were banking on a sequel, which they never got. Yeah, they actually got married and had a kid, and now they're divorced. So yeah, they did. This is the movie they made, and like this was directed by the guy that did The Bourne Identity, Mr. Smith, and he does a lot of Tom Cruise movies too, Doug Liman. He's still working today, but like he actually shot 100 Days with 2 different actors, and then he fired them to the parts that Hayden Christensen and Rachel Bilson plays. He fired them, and then he hired them, and he only kept Jamie Bell and brought them in, and they redid, you know, they reshot the movie. And so like there's a lot of stuff you can clearly tell is cut out of this movie, but it's at the end of the day, I think it's a great movie. And like I said, it does have a great documentary on here called Doug Liman's Jumper, uncensored documentary. The director, how he still works, I guess because he's friends with Tom Cruise, because he did do I think he did that movie, what's that, Live Die Repeat, what's that movie I haven't seen? Edge of Tomorrow, I think it's called. Is that what it's called? It's Tomorrow?
Yeah, you got both of the names right.
Yeah, I know they renamed it. I've never seen it, but he did that movie, and he's done a couple other movies with Tom Cruise and stuff.
Well, and this was based on like a series of books, so like I think they were setting it up for a bunch of sequels that never
they were.
Yeah.
But like I was watching some of the documentary of the director, Doug Liman. He's like, I came in because the script was originally written by David Goyer too. He's like, I came in, I read the script, I loved it, and I just tore it apart. And he hired Simon Kinman come in and rewrote the movie. And he doesn't like to work with a script, you know.
Kinberg, you mean?
Kinberg, right? Kinberg. Yeah, Simon Kinberg. Sorry, I don't know why I said Kinman. But Simon Kinberg came in and said, it's like he would rewrite the script on the day. Like there's literally only one scene in the movie that's from the book. Everything else is completely different than the book, period. And this guy is nuts. You talk about like auteur directors and stuff. Like this guy comes in and he just like, no, we're going to do this. He did Swingers too. He directed the movie Swingers. Yeah. But like you watch that and it's like I'm wondering how he even got work after this movie, because he seemed like he was nuts. It's a great documentary, by the way. I highly recommend the documentary. It's just as fun to watch as the movie. But I really did enjoy this movie. It's a fun little movie. And like I said, I think this was a little more geared towards Hayden Christensen's acting abilities than maybe Anakin Skywalker was. But you know, it's still sort of like you're a special kid and stuff like that. But
yeah, sadly, I haven't seen it in like 20 years or whatever since it came out. But
yeah, I mean, it's a little more geared towards like the teenager crowd from that time. You know what I mean? You can clearly tell they tried to focus more on the romance than the drama. I really wish they would have focused a little more on, because like Michael Rooker's in it and stuff, and you can clearly tell there was setting up more between him and his father that it's cut out. You know, what always bugged me is like they thought he died when he was a kid when he ran away, and then he just shows back up, and they're like, "Oh, you're alive." It's like no big deal. It's like, come on, I need a little more. I need a little something. Like, you thought this guy, you had a crush on him. He had a crush on you. The town was like wondering what the hell happened to this kid. And he just shows up and everybody's like, oh, he's alive. It's no big deal. It's like, you got to give me a little more than that. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty solid movie, and I enjoyed it. I like it. And I don't know why I didn't have the Blu-ray. I really thought I had the Blu-ray, but I got it because I did the video on it because it cracked me up, because when I bought it, I bought it for $5, but it came still with the Best Buy $24.99 on it, and the get your own movie ticket to Night or Day, Predators, or the A-Team. And I just was remembering how like movies, because like this was 2008, this was sort of near the end of when they stopped doing stuff like that. But you know, I remember how they used to do that with the physical media releases and stuff. It made me think about that. But also,
they
like,
still did it for the next few years.
Yeah, they did. It's like I said, it was near the tail end. Which, and also, as I was saying, like, to be fair here, to go back to this, when this was brand new in 2008, I had the sticker, I did the video on it and everything. It was $24.99 at Best Buy. I only paid, I think, $25.99 for this one. So, no. I got it for $13. No, I got it for that deal, the 3 for $33. So, but still, I think it was only like $25 anyways when it was there. So, I'm just saying, some of the standard edition releases aren't that far from the original Blu-ray releases from like 2008. Not to say that there aren't, like, you know, I did pay expensive for a steelbook that probably shouldn't have paid that much money for, but just saying. But anyways, that was it for that one. But I do like that movie. It had been a long time since I seen it too, so I wanted to watch it again. But Tom, you can do your pick, and then we'll do the one together that we have, if you're ready.
Sorry, Sadie had to go out.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
All right. Yeah. So one of these I brought on before, and I remember how long ago it was now. Sorry, I needed a drink.
That's okay. Good.
Especially after Beetlejuice. Excuse me. So yeah, I brought this on, what was it, a few months ago? Or was it like longer than that, maybe even?
It might have been the year ago. How long ago was this released? Howling 2? It was a while ago.
This one, I probably had it for a while now, actually, now you say that. Because this is actually the one I brought on before that has the Blu-ray, Scream Queens documentary, and then the movie on DVD. And it don't look that bad, actually. It's
the Howling
German
2,
release,
Tyrell. The Howling 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyrell. The movie is The Howling 2, Das Tier.
Your sister's a...
It doesn't even have that title here.
No, not on that one.
In the UK is Your Sister's a Werewolf, Bitch.
Yeah.
But I brought that on because I have had this for a while, and I just never got around to it because, you know, having just watched that one, you know, I was like, yeah, I'll wait for a little bit and I'll get to it. So I watched this from Vinegar Syndrome, and this is their beautiful release they did. As you can see here, nice 4K where I reversed the art. the video art, or the poster art. There's the 4K, and here's the booklet. And then the booklet comes out, of course, and the Blu-ray's right underneath. And it's a nice, booklet with all kinds of behind-the-scenes features, and it's just chock full of brand new special features. Now, some of the things from this one, though, don't appear to be carried over to here, but I have to really dig deep into it. I didn't get enough time for the show, but I think like the alternate beginning and ending are missing, maybe some other things, but I think they got all the commentaries and shit like that. Now, the movie itself is a little crazy.
It is.
And, wow. We talked a lot about that. So if you want to really get like kind of my thoughts on the movie itself, other than it's just kind of batshit crazy, it's fun. It's the only one of the Howling series that's technically a direct follow-up to the original film, even though legally it wasn't supposed to be. It's really convoluted. It was shot in Prague. And the acting is atrocious throughout most of it. Reb Brown's in it. Sybil Danning's in it. Of course, Christopher Lee's in it, and he's embarrassed about being in it.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe he apologized to Joe Dante on the set of Gremlins 2 for doing Howling 2.
He did. He apologized.
So yeah. Needless to say, the movie is fucked up, but it's fun.
It is.
And it's basically about this like 10,000-year-old werewolf who's back again, or she's gonna be re-emerging or something to that effect. I don't fucking know.
Doesn't matter. Sybil Danning pops her top.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, to pops her top off. Yeah, you get to see her tits. Among many other tits in the movie. And also there's this whole group of werewolves similar to the first film. Now what's funny about this is there is a book called The Howling 2, but the movie has very little to nothing to do with that book. But the author of the books did rewrite the screenplay. But that's just because the movie had so many problems getting made. And they needed somebody to write, and eventually I think they just paid him to do it or whatever come about. And he, I guess, supposedly was upset about some of the things they changed in the original film. So then he comes at this with just all sorts of wackiness. Because now the werewolves are both wolf men and werewolves at the same time.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you got Steve Johnston. This is one of his earlier films. And he did go on to work on a few of the other ones. But he just like, yeah, they had nothing done when we showed up. None of the pre-prep and everything. The guys were just like, look, no matter what happens, just pretend like that's what's supposed to happen. We know none of this shit is done or like he's like, we literally had to like, because there's that, orgy scene or three-way scene between the werewolves, one of the more famous scenes. He's like, we literally were just fucking pasting hair on those guys, right? Like, and you'll never know what it's like to have to paste hair on some dude's dick. And not only that, you don't want to paste it. You don't want to be the one who pasted it. Hair on your dick on top of it all. I can't imagine how that felt coming off, So like, yeah, this movie was put together with literal like popsicle sticks and spit, and it looks like it in some cases. But then they went back and they reshot some wolf stuff because the movie sat on a shelf for almost 2 years. I mean, it did get released a year sooner in outside of the U.S. and then finally got released in 1986 in the U.S. But it was shot in '84. And it's one of those movies you almost gotta see to just get how batshit crazy is. And I hope you like the theme song, because the theme song plays over and over and over and over throughout the film. And I think it's because like it's funny because like the guys that did it ended up going on to do some other things too, which is funny. But like, yeah, like when you hear the song, it's not that it's not catchy. It is, but like you better get used to it. And quick,
because you're gonna hear it a lot.
And not only are you gonna hear it just like in snippets, it's gonna be in its entirety like 3 or 4 times, and it's also part of the score. So yeah, you better get used to it, which is funny because there is a couple other songs in the movie, but you forget them all because that one song is in it so many times. And it is the best of the 3 or 4 songs that are in. One of the other ones isn't so bad either, but because I noticed that one is on the menu of the foreign release. But yeah, so, but no, Vinegar Syndrome is always like, I mean, really, there'd have to be a problem for me to really bring up the quality because the transfer is brilliant as always, right? I mean, what can I say? That I mean,
Yeah, they
Vinegar
do
Syndrome always
amazing
delivers, and I mean, you got just a ton of interviews. Like, I didn't even have enough time to get through it all. Like, just the little bits and pieces that I've known from the other interviews before, and what I'm telling you now is just a little bit I got to watch, right? So, again, check it out if you haven't already. I think it was on their last sale, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't think they have any of the slipcover left. I'm not sure on that, but
Yeah.
or maybe I'm thinking of another one. But no, yeah, it's fun. It's a goofy movie. But I also got another Howling film, and that's part of the reason when I watched it. I'm like, I might as well crack that open now that I'm watching yet another one, because as you know, I've been through my Howling journey, and now I have Howling 6, The Freaks.
Freaks.
And I actually like this one quite a bit.
I don't even know if I've even heard of Howling 6, to be honest with you.
Funnily enough, it could almost been almost any random werewolf movie because there's only one werewolf in it. And it's really more like about this freak show. So it's actually kind of one of the more fun of the sequels. I will say that, like, I'd put this up there as possibly the best of the sequels that I've seen so far. As far as actual story. Now, there is some bad acting and some shit you're just like, okay, whatever. But overall, it does actually have a pretty decent plot. It is vampire versus werewolf. And not to spoil too much, but it kind of gives it away in too many things. But so basically the story is this guy wanders into this Mayberry-esque kind of town. And he's a drifter and he's British and all this other shit. Well, of course he's a werewolf. So he's only going to stay there until the next full moon, and then he's going to take the fuck off. But of course he makes a lot of friends, and this pastor's daughter kind of falls for him and all this shit. And at the same time, just as he's about to leave, this freak show comes into town. And this freak show is ran by this vampire dude. And there's like this gator boy. Deep Roy is in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he says he's actually not in a costume.
I can't believe
he does have a gimmick, but he only see it in one scene. So yeah. And there's a trans half dude, half woman that he dates. And so like this freak show comes into town, and as he's trying to escape, they capture him because the vampire knows what he is, and he's like, they know each other, but up until the end of the movie, they don't quite give you the whole story, and then when he kind of figures it out. But it's actually a lot of fun. The effects are give or take. I think Steve Johnson also worked on this one, if I'm not mistaken, because I think I remember seeing his name in it, to be honest with you. Might be wrong, but no, yeah, there he is, Steve Johnson.
He did a lot of stuff.
But this takes it back to more of the werewolf, wolf man, but they actually give him like stilts to walk on, so he actually has like the paws. So some of the stuff is pretty cool, but other times, like as you can see here on the back, he just looks kind of wonky. And that reminds me, I forgot to tell you about in the Howling too, because to try and save some money, they were buying some old, what they thought were like wolf costumes or something or other, and these crates show up, and on the crates, guess what it says?
What?
Planet of the Apes. So they ended up getting sent a bunch of the costumes from Planet of the Apes, and the guy's on the phone, he's like, look, I don't know why I have to tell you the difference between wolves and apes, but this shit is not going to work. They're like, you can make it work.
Just change the face.
Yeah. And they're probably the ones from the show, too, on top of it all. They didn't specify.
Probably. Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, they probably look like ape shit. So, yeah.
Where did
I got this on Diabolic.
Oh, it's on Diabolic? Okay.
Yeah, it's an import. It is region free, or ABC anyway. It does have English. Yeah. Although it lies on the back and says it does have, it says English 5.1. It's just the regular English stereo, but it's fine. It's, stereo surround sound. So, and it's not like it's the most expensive movie in the world. Like, I mean, you guys, it kind of has a full moon-esque kind of feel to it.
Oh, see, now you're selling it to me on it.
See, now that's the
I
thing
see
about
it.
it that kind of turned me on about it is like, okay, I could totally see this just being some random full moon movie called like Circus Freaks or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think they even have one called that. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that could be the movie. It doesn't have to be a Howling film because there's nothing connecting it to the Howling films other than you have a werewolf in it or a wolf, man, or whatever you want to call it.
That's all you need. I think the last one I saw was Howling Reborn. I think it was. It was the newest one. I think that's the last one I saw.
Okay, Howling 3 is just Howling 3, and Howling 4. Well, it's called the Marsupials outside of the U.S.
Yeah, Howling 4.
And then 4 is. What the fuck is 4 called otherwise? Pueblo Maldito. What the fuck is that translated? Because you guys got to understand, I got all these imported because they're not available in the U.S.
Yeah, they're not.
What the fuck was part 4 called? I don't know. And then I got Howling 5, The Rebirth. That's when
The original Nightmares, Howling 4.
Okay, so then so this is Rebirth, and Rebirth came out in 90. When the fuck was it? 89.
1990 is for Howling 5.
89 or 90, yeah, depending on where you're from. So yeah.
I honestly did not know there was a Howling 6, but I knew there was like the Howling Reborn came out 2011, and I saw that. Not very good, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, if you remember, Reborn, I said it was slightly better than some of the other ones that I've seen so far, but this is definitely the best of the bunch so far as sequels go.
I may have to pick that one up. I've never seen it. Brian Barth, I think there's like 7 or 8 Howling films, and
there's
I know
a lot more than I think that they've done or at least 8, I think.
Yeah, like 7 or 8 of them, and we've talked about this before. I don't think you can compare The Howling to American Werewolf in London. They're both great werewolf movies.
They're two different animals in a weird way.
They're two different things. Like I will say that Dante's werewolf is better looking than John Landis's werewolf. Because I prefer the bipedal werewolf, not the werewolf on all fours.
I just don't like that they gave the ones in the first Howling like really big ears or
yeah, the ear. I think like the ears are the biggest thing on that. But I mean, there's like two different type of stories. I mean, John Landis is a classic, but so is the Howling. So
yeah, they're two very different stories in that respect.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if they still have any left, Dragonzilla, otherwise you can usually get on a wait list. And I think it just came out, so I'm sure they'll have plenty. I keep an eye on it, and I'm getting to the point, though, after this, I don't know how many more there are. I think there's 8 altogether, but yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think one of them ends up, like one of the next ones, I think is just like a quasi remake of the original film, or at least it started out as a remake of the original film, and then yeah, unless one of the ones I already saw was. I can't remember. But no, yeah. Maybe that's what Rebirth was supposed to be, but I doubt it. I don't think so. But I think that's maybe the one that pulled shit from...
I think the fourth movie was sort of like a quasi-remake of the first movie.
Well, exactly. I think, if I remember right, when I reviewed it, I think I was talking about how I think they pulled some stuff from the book that never made it into the first movie, into that one or something like that.
I think that's the fourth one, yeah. Because I've seen that one.
Yeah, and it was
yeah, it's not the greatest.
It's all right.
Just ordered. There you go.
Well,
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
I wish I got commission.
That's what we need. We need commissions. Like I'm signed up to do commissions now on YouTube for whatever, and like I'm going through the stores, and they're like, none of this fits my channel at all. So.
I know, right? Amazon is like the only one, maybe, but even them, I've heard they don't pay very much.
Yeah, and I don't even think that's on the list of stores that you can get commission from in the YouTube thing. So. Yeah.
No, but you can get a link code thingy or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well,
our last one we have.
Last one together.
Because it's a buddy travel film, so it's kind of poignant that we're doing it together.
I don't want to get.
I actually have another version of this.
Do you?
You have the old version?
I have the old Blu-ray, which I'll have to go get then.
Oh well, yeah, I have that.
Yeah, I have that.
Do you have the fancy cover?
Yeah, I had the fancy slip cover. I didn't bring it over, so I should have grabbed it.
Either way, we both have it, and of course, now we have this.
No, we have. The 4K from Kino.
And it's a huge improvement over the old Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even need the old Blu-ray to see that. Just watch the unrated cut, which is from an older scan, although I think it's a little less compressed, so it does look slightly better than the old Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't like cut the new stuff in with the old stuff like they have with other ones in the past, which I don't know why. But at the same time, this is one of those. The Farrelly brothers, or however you want to say it, they're one of the few. I don't like their unrated cuts usually.
Yeah.
And this is another one where it's like the least of the bunch, but it's like I could really take or leave 90% of what's in the unrated version of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the one scene isn't even as funny as the one that's in the theatrical cut that they switch out in the midpoint. And then the other scene the only one that I miss is where he is in the earlier part of the movie where he goes into the gas station and does the trick with the $20 bill and then steals the milk. But at the same time, and I was watching it this time and I thought about this, I'm like, I can see why they took it out now originally. Right. Because it makes his character worse.
Yeah, it makes him a little more of a dick.
Because really, that's the whole point is like, before that, everything happens to him. And he's not really doing anything to anybody to hurt them. Until he does that. And then he does the thing with the baby. And then it's like, okay, so this guy's a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's one thing that he's like playing games with his fucking landlord. That's okay. Like, that's
because I mean... Yeah, and it's, by the way, Tyrell, it's Kingpin. The movie's Kingpin.
We're sorry, dude. We're sorry. We got to think about doing that.
Yeah. But no, like with the thing with the landlord is like you could kind of see that because he doesn't want to get kicked out or anything. But you're right. It's like the like with the money and the stealing the baby's milk and everything, it does make him a little meaner. Where you're like, yeah.
And then the other scene is like that, like in the unrated cut. Is like a not hot air balloon, but an extended scene with them on they're doing like, what do you call it, the wind sail thing.
Oh yeah.
That's the only big difference otherwise. And then there's a little bit more to the strip club scene, which that I could take or leave because it is kind of funny how he gets the job. Like that's the only part that I like. I wish they would have left that in because he sees help wanted and he goes into the strip club. And he's like, all right, buddy, it's time to pay up 8 hours. Or he's like, holy crap, that 8 hours went fast. He's like, yeah, that'll be like X amount, whatever it is, like thousands of $100. He's like, oh, I'm supposed to pay you? See, and that's why he's dancing at the club. So that's the only scene that I would say you should have left in. But other than that, like all the best jokes are still in the theatrical cut. So all the quotable lines are still in the theatrical cut. But I mean, for those who don't know what the movie's about, it's about this guy who's on the verge of being a Pro Bowler. He technically is a Pro Bowler. Yeah, and he's got the gift of the greatest hand, for bowling and everything. And then another guy played by Bill Murray who's jealous of him, sets him up, and he loses his hand, and then it jumps to like 16 years later or whatever it is. And, yeah. And now Woody Harrelson, who plays it, is like he's a balding man, no hand. He's lost everything. He hasn't been home since then because he was like he was mentioning his characters, like because he was a really good person in the beginning. He loved his dad. He had a great hometown. He was from Iowa. He was going to make something of himself. And then when he got his hand lost with everything, he never went back home, and he kind of became this like bitter, broken down man, and you do want that redemption near the end, which you do get, but you don't want the like Tom was mentioning, it does make his character look a little more meaner. Like, can he be redeemed from that? Even though it's like little things, but still, it's like, But no, that's like the whole point of Ishmael, right? Like, yeah, he's it's like him and Vanessa, what's her face is. Vanessa Angel's redemption arc is through that character, right? Yeah, and then of course he meets Randy Quaid's character of Ishmael, who's he's an Amish man who can bowl, and he tries to convince him to go to Reno, enter a bowling tournament, and win. And at first, and then like they need to save the farm they live on. Because the prize is $1 million, and they need $500,000 to pay for the taxes. So he's like, "I'll split the winnings with you." Basically, yeah. And so he gets them to do it, and they think that sounds like a road trip, and they, they're trying to do it, and then that's when they meet Vanessa Angel's character, who was
like the sexy girlfriend to this rich guy that they bowled against.
She's
and
a hustler too.
yeah, she's a hustler and joins them, and it all goes. Though it's really great, funny movie than the Fairley Brothers thing. What can you say? It's like
It's
I
the
gotta.
most clever of their films. Like, I know everybody praises Something About Mary, but to me, that's like one of the least of their films, in my opinion. But
And I think this is better than that, even though I'm
a
still
lot better by
I
leads.
still
in my
kind of
opinion.
the ending of this still kind of pisses me off a little bit, but it does end the way it ends the way it should. But damn it, I don't want to spoil it, but you know what I'm talking about. I kind of just wish he would have, but it does work out in the end for everybody, except maybe Bill Murray. I guess it does still work out in the end for him. But no, this is a great movie. It's hilarious. I got up early to milk the cow. It took some doing. I was pulling and tugging, and then finally all came out. We don't have
We
a
do not
cow.
have a cow. We have a bull.
I gotta go brush my teeth.
That's one of the best lines. The other one is like, so it's been X amount of years or whatever since you've been on the circuit. What have you been up to all this years? Drinking, mostly drinking.
Yeah.
So you're done with that now, right? Yeah, no, I'm not drinking anymore. Why, are you buying?
It's a great. Oh, I love the what's his name? What is that guy's name? Is it Chris himself? Where he comes up, he's like, "I'll give you $1 million to sleep with your buddy here."
Chris Elliott, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Elliott. And he has that
decent
dream.
proposal thing, yeah.
Yeah. And he shows Randy Quaid in the bed with a bag of ice on his ass, and he's drinking.
Well, the bag of ice, is it in both versions? I think you might be right, but because the other version has even more of it. But
I remember in the theaters too.
Because the other unrated scene is right around that time where it's Woody Harrelson just fucking a blow up doll. But yeah,
yeah. That is great. It is a hilarious movie.
yeah.
I love that. Speaking of when they meet Vanessa Angel, she's like, the guy's using her. Is like, anybody want a beer? And she goes to the fridge and comes back and her nips are poking out. Then Randy quits, I'll get it for you. And he walks in.
I'm sorry. Did anybody else want one? Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
His nipples
Don't
are
trouble
like
yourself.
It's hilarious. It's like, I got a tattoo. I can't go back to the now. That's it. I can't go back.
It's not so bad. Yeah.
He got the fucking eagle on his back. Oh, this is a great movie. It is very, very funny. I have not watched it in a very long time. But I do actually have that same Blu-ray you have, which everything that's on that is on this 4K.
Yeah.
So,
sadly, this is one time Kino didn't do anything extra, but
there's nothing really different on this one.
And it is only the theatrical cut in 4K. If you haven't figured that out, that's why we keep bringing that up. But
yeah. And the theatrical cuts, honestly, it's the better version. It is the better version.
I mean, it's fine. Like I said, the only scenes we're really missing is the lead up to the strip club as to why Ishmael's working at a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, it's just kind of like little bits and pieces. And some of the stuff is like the fucking of the blow up doll is just a little too much.
Yeah. You don't need that. There's a shit cloud coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, you don't get. This is one of those classic sports type movies that they used
it's a
to do
mix,
back in
right?
the
Like
day.
it's what they did great in Dumb and Dumber with the road trip buddy comedy thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have their love of sports in it as well. Which, if you know any of their future films, they do continue this kind of thing throughout their career of either it being a sports film like the Special Olympics one. I'm trying to The Ringer. Or if it's got some kind of sports thing involved, like Stuck on You, right? So like they always kind of have something going along with that too, and like you have your Dumb and Dumber style, your Something About Mary style. This is more of a Dumb and Dumber style movie, basically. So
yeah. And I mean, Woody Harrelson is great in it. Randy Quaid is great in the movie. Vanessa Angel's great, and I think this is like one of the only few things I've ever seen her in. I don't think I've seen her in much.
Well, they were trying to make her happen for a while there. I'm trying to remember. Was she in anything else?
I mean, she was hot and all, but she was.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, she was initially in Spies Like Us and King of New York and some other things. So she's kind of established by this point. Weird Science, the TV show. That's what I probably remember most.
Yeah, I remember her being on that from USA.
Very, very underrated and forgotten most of the time. Adaptation, to be honest with you. Not one of the worst from my memory. I could be wrong, though. It's been about 20, 30 years since I've seen it.
Speaking of it, has that been put on DVD? But it has.
I don't think the show has. Maybe it has, but
I wonder if that. I know I got Swamp Thing from USA. I got those. Now I want to get the Weird Science TV show with her.
The TV show, you mean?
Yeah, I want to get the Weird Science TV show now.
Well, they do have an upconverted version of the intro on here. It's not in HD, but it's upconverted. From 2 years ago. So I wonder if it has been released somewhere, actually.
It might have been.
So it looks pretty good quality, actually. I mean, it's clearly from like a DVD.
Yeah.
From Comedy Bites put it up here, but it's been a while since I've seen it. I'm sure there might even be some up on YouTube. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that show.
There you go. Hats off, production guy, even though you're not listening probably, but you're on my X and you follow me. There you go. There's your next video if you haven't done it already. I don't think you have.
There you go.
Weird Science TV show, because I think he did one of the first videos of his I found was the Ferris Bueller TV show one. And now he's on fucking Kino Lorber disc, Lucky Buck Duck. And other ones too. He's doing, what's the other one he's doing now? I forgot. Shit. He just announced another one. You know the guy I'm talking about, right?
The hats off guy.
Yeah, the guy that got us the deleted scenes for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yep. Yeah.
He's gonna be on
Road
Trip.
Yeah.
But he's doing another one for some other company, and I can't remember what it was.
Hey, we're trying. We'll get. I mean, I've got a little love here and there, and you've got a little bit.
Eventually, we'll get up. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get on like a Puppet Master movie or something.
That would be great. Brooks, if you're listening.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be nice. No, but I mean, it does look good in 4K. This is I mean, it's up to you guys out there if you want to upgrade it out, because like the special features are exactly the same, but it does look good on 4K if you have the 4K system and everything. I did actually. This was on sale. I think it's still on sale right now because they're doing the Amazon. I think still has the Kino sale. Maybe it might be done now. I'm not sure, but I got this on sale as well, and I think you did too. It's a funny movie. It's a classic movie. Bill Murray. I don't know. Who knows what happened to Bill Murray's character at the end? I would hope he finally got his up and comings, but you never know. And I did not know Chris Farley was the first choice for Ishmael.
I can see that.
Yeah, I could see it though. I can see it. I think Randy Quaid though works really well as Ishmael.
Surprisingly well, because that's actually kind of. I mean, he does play those lovable goofs, and he did play what's his face in a version of Mice and Men, but
oh yeah,
normally that's kind of against. He usually plays the more rednecky dork. Not, which I mean, I guess you could lean into that a little bit with the Amish thing, but he really does a great job of playing this childlike Amish guy.
Yeah.
And especially considering if you know what he's like in real life, that is definitely acting, right? Like he's
he's acting, yeah.
Yeah,
and you know he looks a lot like his brother in this. This is like the most I've ever seen him look like Dennis Quaid in a movie, because I think it's because how skinny he is in this movie. So he looks and how much younger he is in. So he looks a lot.
That is
like,
true. This is like the skinniest he is since he's been younger. You're right.
Yeah. So like, and it just. So I was just thinking about another joke. I know what you're good at, Ishmael. It's round, and you can stick your 3 fingers in it. Hey, you leave Miss Rebecca out of this. No, he does. He plays it very simple and very like the comedy is not over the top with him, so he's very simple and everything, and it just works. So yeah, it works very good with it. Very good with it.
Well, it's not so much. I mean, he is kind of simple, but I'd say it's less simple as he is innocent.
Yeah, he's supposed because they're Amish. They're not supposed to be world like we live, you know. So yeah. Michael, according to Brian Barth, Michael Keaton was also up for the role.
I don't see that as much, but I can kind of see.
I could have seen Chris Farley a little bit, yeah. But it is a fun movie. It's a funny movie. it's like, I mean, how often do you think of movies like that nowadays, which we talked about earlier in the movies? Because you don't get comedies like this much anymore, where you can quote them and laugh about them and stuff like that. So that is something that is we do not get a lot. So
yeah. Sadly, this is not the kind of movie they make anymore.
Yeah. What's up, Snow Dub? Snow Raid, he said. K Ravenwolf, what's up, Raid? What's up, everybody coming in from Snow Dub? Glad to see you guys out there in the chat. You caught us. Unfortunately, you caught us right at the end because we're all out of our physical media picks. So, but I appreciate y'all coming in, rating the channel right now. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. What's up, Jed? But we were just talking Kingpin from the Fairley Brothers. So if you've not seen it, check it out. Kingpin. I don't know where else to go because we're right at the end of the show. We just finished it all. So, but I appreciate y'all coming in from Snowdub's channel and Snowdub. I appreciate y'all. But there you guys have it. That's all we have for the night. Tom, any final words you got to say? Because we did manage to go.
No. Yeah, I mean, that was about it. I have nothing else to really add or subtract at this moment in time.
Yeah. Well, I hope we gave you guys something to think about. Some great physical media picks. I know Dragonzilla ended up buying a movie while we was here, so that always works. We do like would like to get a commission one day for that stuff.
Or we do commentaries.
Yeah.
We do interviews.
We could do commentaries. I mean, we could do a great commentary team. Come on, Kino. Somebody hit us up. I mean, we could do that. I mean, that would be something fun to do.
And I know stuffs.
Yeah. And I could just sit there and laugh like an idiot.
No, you know stuff.
But I appreciate y'all. Thank you, everybody from Snowdub's channel, rating the channel. Appreciate you. Thank you, Snowdub. Thank you for everybody in the chat that hung with us tonight and everybody watching on the YouTubes and on the Twitters or X or whatever you call it. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to Tom and myself. We're approaching 200 episodes, if you guys can believe it. In 2 weeks, we'll be on the 200th episode of the Physical Media Show. I can't believe it. Maybe, like I told Tom, I'm going to try to get us a guest. Maybe they get Michael from Anchor Bay if he's available. If not, I'll try to get us somebody. And maybe we'll have more than just me and Tom. I thought, like I said, I thought Rookie Runner was coming back because Runner, he graduated. Rookie said he could join. That they don't show up. Kids these days.
Ricky, he's got Subway. I don't care.
Yeah,
that's he can't do nothing about that. He's got to work. But Runner ain't got no excuse. Where the fuck you at?
Yeah, Runner, where you at? You're home right now.
Yeah,
you just
home.
Graduated. You're making my first film.
Unless you are actually working, then yeah.
Yeah. But appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And as always, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.